Hey, hi everyone, how are you? So I welcome you all to another very interesting session on your favorite channel. Okay, I hope you guys are doing great and you are having a very happy Saturday. Okay, awesome. So today we all are meeting to discuss one of the most in demand topic. Okay, every student nowadays is looking to avoid the past mistakes. Okay, and what can be better than actually being prepared, actually being able to understand the mistakes even before making them. Okay, so my dear friends, today I'm going to discuss one of the most in demand topic, which is avoid the common mistakes of GATE 2025 for GATE 2026 and 2027 preparation. Okay, now let me tell you that this is something which is not 100% under our control. Okay, but at least 90% it is within our control, and if we control that 90%, okay, that's going to be the game changer. So my dear friends, my name is Aditya Jain and I'm going to discuss this topic in such a way that I will be telling you each and every point that I myself implemented, okay, to gain one of the most highest accuracy in the GATE exam. Okay, so why you should listen to me? First of all, let's talk about that. Okay, because in order to talk about it, I need to be someone who is actually been there, done that, right? So friends, my name is Aditya Jain, as I've told you, and I have secured all India rank 60 in GATE exam 2019 computer science in the very first attempt, and that too when I was a final year student. Okay, with that rank I also became the city topper from Nagpur city. I belong to Nagpur city. Not just that, okay, that's pretty fine. I secured 77.33 marks out of 100, which is also fine, okay, which is not a big deal. But you know what's the big deal is? The accuracy. I don't take pride in the marks because 77 marks is like fine, okay, but I really take pride in accuracy. You know what my accuracy was? In the entire GATE paper, my negative marking was only minus 0.66. Yes, you heard it right. In the entire 100 mark paper, my negative marking was only 0.66, or I should say minus 0.66. Okay, so does that inspire you? Does that align with something which we are here for? I have a yes or no from all of you so that I can confirm whether you are able to listen to me or not, my dear friends. Okay, and if that inspires you, today I'm going to discuss step-by-step plan with you, using which you will also have accuracy like me, or if not better than me. Okay, you might have accuracy better than me, like no negative marking at all, even that's possible. Okay, so yeah, let's discuss this. And guys, please remember that everyone talks about speed in GATE exam, but it is equally important to focus on the accuracy as well. Okay, like if you solve all the 100 marks paper, all the 65 questions within 2 hours, okay, in a 3-hour paper you solve all of them in 2 hours, but if you have solved most of them incorrectly, there's no point of that speed. There's no point of solving so many questions if accuracy is not supporting that. Okay, so how many of you first of all agree with me? See, we have kept this session as live so that we can handle your queries as many as possible. So first, can I have a quick yes or no? Can you please all confirm if you are able to understand the context for this session? Can I have a quick yes or no, guys? Let me check the chat section. Yes, super yes. Okay, awesome, great. Okay, okay, I have a message from Arish, am I audible to you as well? Please confirm. Okay, chalo, so let's discuss it, guys, step by step. So the first thing is lack of a study plan. Okay, I hope that you have heard of this statement that if you fail to plan, indirectly you are planning to fail. Okay, and this is something which I really admire. Okay, it's such a beautiful quote which actually which actually represents the entire preparation journey. If you are not planning, you are indirectly planning to fail, because without a plan you can't succeed ever, not just in GATE exam but in any entrance exam or in general in life as well. Okay, again, exceptions are there. Okay, that's not what we are referring to. We are not talking about luck, we are talking about actual strategy. Okay, so many students start their preparation without a clear plan, leading to inefficient use of time and resources. Okay, it's essential to create a realistic study timetable that covers all subjects and allows for regular revision. Okay, I hope you agree with me. Okay, see guys, we all have limited time. We all have limited time, we all have limited resources. Even the internet package that we have is limited. Okay, so it's your choice whether you want to utilize that to watch Netflix or you want to utilize that to watch this particular session. So you all have equal resources, but the ones who will use them wisely, efficiently, will create all the difference. And that would be the major difference between a topper, a IIT graduate, and someone who is not getting a job or who is not even qualified for the GATE exam. This use of time and resources, this use of proper strategy and plan is going to create that major difference. Okay, so first of all, are we all on the same track? And can I have your yes that you will start planning today itself? Like right after this session, you will start having a plan. Can I have a quick yes from all of you? We cannot proceed after before that. Okay, we will not be able to proceed unless and until you all agree on to having a plan. Okay, because plan is the most important fundamental element of any entrance exam preparation. Okay, so you need to have a very proper study plan. Okay, there might be some plus and minus into it. Okay, sometimes you would be able to follow it, sometimes not, but that doesn't make any difference. Okay, can I have a quick yes guys? Everyone, can I have a quick yes? Let me check the chat. Super yes. Okay, great. Chalo. So now let's move on to the second, which is ignoring the syllabus. Now this is something which is a very childish mistake. Okay, but still people make this mistake. Okay, it is a possibility. So not paying attention to the GATE syllabus can lead to wasting time on irrelevant topics. Okay, always refer to the official syllabus to ensure you are studying the right material. Okay, so sir, I have a proper plan, I have everything, but sir, I study something random. I don't have a proper plan around what to study, what is part of the syllabus. Okay, so guys, for all these mistakes, okay, all you have to do is you have to rely on us. Okay, we will take care of all these things so that you don't make any mistake. You can check out our courses. Okay, you can check out any course for that matter, but if you are having a proper guidance, these mistakes can be easily avoided. Those who have attended my lectures, you know that I keep telling that guys, this is important. Okay, GATE has been asking this question since a long time. Okay, so we keep sharing our experience and analysis with all of you. Okay, and what can be better than actually getting to know that before the GATE exam? Okay, so you can rely on us for that. Now the third mistake is neglecting basic concepts. Like if you ask me what is that one mistake that differentiates the toppers from the rest, it is about the basic concepts. It is about the building blocks. Okay, have you ever seen guys a building getting made from the scratch? How many of you have seen a construction site where the building is getting constructed from like ground level. Have you seen that? Like from the very base. Okay, so what does the initial few months of that construction goes into? Can someone comment on that? Whenever a building is getting prepared, what is the first thing and what is the most amount of time being getting done on? Okay, so when I was in Mumbai, there used to be buildings like 70 floors, 75 floor. Okay, and I used to just visualize how they have created such a building. Okay, correct. So it started with a plan. It started that we have this much of land. Okay, these many floors will be there. This would be the dimension of the building. This would be the structure of the building. So first you have to plan. Okay, second is to know what all is going to be within the building, what is not going to be in the building. Are we going to have the swimming pool in the building? Are we not going to have it? So you have to understand the syllabus. Second thing. Third important thing is neglecting basic concepts. So you have a proper plan, you have a proper syllabus, but if you don't have clear base, so if you don't put a good amount of base underneath the ground for building that 75 floor building, okay, will it going to stand strong later on in future? I don't think so. Okay, 75 floors building, it will be like this. It will keep moving with the wind if the base is not strong. Okay, so you might have seen that there is a underneath a good amount of depth. Okay, lots of iron, lots of cement is getting filled to make the pillars strong, because pillars is something on which the building would be based on. It would be relying on the pillars and the beam. Okay, and exactly the same way, basic concepts is what will make you stand in the exam, is what makes it the most important point. Okay, so jumping straight to advanced problems without a strong understanding of the basic concepts can be detrimental. Focus on building a solid foundation before tackling complex questions. Okay, so guys, means I totally understand your perspective. Okay, like if I have been in your situation, I would also do the same. Okay, nowadays the environment is like this, like we are in so rush. Okay, it's not your fault actually. Everyone that I see is in so rush. Okay, because there is so much of FOMO, fear of missing out. Sir, what if I keep studying but I don't solve questions, sir? Sir, I am starting very late. Okay, so there is so many of you in rush, but let me tell you that cracking an entrance exam, okay, is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It doesn't matter if you study for 15 hours today, 20 hours tomorrow, 25 hours day after tomorrow. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you studying consistently till the day of the exam? How many of you agree with me? Haven't you seen students who study so much before the exam that they study so much for 2-3 days that they give up on studies, like they don't even want to look at the books after that? Okay, so that's not what will help you get ahead. Okay, so you need to have a very solid foundation. Okay, and that's why you need to first study the concepts before jumping onto the questions, because many students think that, no sir, I will save a lot of time, I will directly solve questions and I will learn from questions. See, that works when you have done the initial study. When you are in the revision phase, that strategy is fine. I have also done that strategy, but you cannot directly start with that. Okay, this is what I'm trying to explain. So having a proper foundation is very important. Then the next common mistake, and I'm sure that almost all of you would be able to relate to these mistakes, because I can. Okay, when I was a student, I have made almost all of these mistakes at some point of time. Okay, so the mistake is insufficient practice, not practicing enough. Okay, So practice is crucial for success in GATE. I should say practice is crucial for success in life, I should say, not just GATE exam. Okay, practice is an important element for any phase of life. You might have heard that practice makes a man perfect. Okay, so practice is an essential element of any success. Okay, so relying solely on theoretical knowledge without practicing enough problems can hinder performance. Okay, solve previous year's question papers and take mock tests regularly. Okay, so I need not stress on telling you the importance of practice. I think you all are very smart enough for that. Okay, but what I would like to tell you is how to practice. So the first important element is to solve DPP and tests. Okay, so if you are part of a paid batch, okay, you might have seen that for every subject we give proper DPPs and weekly tests. Okay, so you might have definitely seen that. So you have to prioritize them, because we are working so hard to create such selective questions which will actually add a lot of value to your preparation. Okay, so that's one thing. Second important thing is that you have to solve the previous year questions. Let me tell you that I have solved the entire previous year questions book, like this much book, 3 times. 3 times, my dear friends. Okay, the entire book, like this much broad book. I still have that book with me. If you will look at that book, you will be shocked. There is more of my writing on that book than the printing. Okay, I have written so many things on it, so many concepts on it, so many mistakes I have done which I have written so that I don't repeat them. Okay, like I wish I could show you that. So yeah, so that's one thing. Okay, so what I'm saying is that previous year questions is a must. Okay, and you might have seen that the pattern repeats actually. Okay, like if I talk about algorithms, okay, the concept of minimum cost spanning trees, okay, this get asked in some form or fashion which is very much related to the previous questions. Okay, last year in GATE exam I actually created one question in your GATE before GATE, where 6 questions were discussed, and one question came 50% same as what I have discussed, because it's very predictable at times. If you see the previous year questions, you can easily predict that some questions will be around this. Okay, so previous year questions is important, and the next important element is test series, mock tests. So imagine that if you can understand the mistakes you are going to do even before the GATE exam, wouldn't that be amazing? And that's what is possible with the test series. Okay, test series help you to identify the mistakes even before you make them in the actual GATE exam. Some people are so unfortunate that they will understand the mistakes on the day of the exam because they are not attending the test series. Okay, so I hope you understand the importance of it. Okay, awesome. Okay, the next mistake is poor time management during the exam. Now this is something, my dear friends, which is the deal breaker. Okay, like I'm not joking, but the last month I spent more time on this than I spent on studying. I'm really being very honest with you. The last month, which is the January month of my exam, I spent more time in managing, in preparing the strategy in which I'm going to actually write the exam. I spent more time on that than what I spent on actually studying. Okay, and this is something that I would recommend you to start today itself. Okay, you know that the GATE exam is going to have 65 questions. It is going to have aptitude section, it is going to have core section, it is going to have some 2 marks question, 1 mark question, MCQ, MSQ, numerical answer type. Okay, you know everything. So please have a proper plan. Okay, so that you are not shocked, you are not clueless on the day of attempting the actual exam. Okay, so I'll tell you what you need to do. So you can just YouTube it. Okay, in one of the YouTube videos, I myself have shared a strategy. Okay, I myself have shared a strategy that I used in the actual GATE exam. It's called 𝐂𝐤𝐬𝐬's 2-pass strategy. Okay, so 2-pass strategy is basically I planned my GATE exam in 2 phases. The first phase was to focus on building the momentum. Okay, first phase was getting till the end of the paper by first attempting those questions which I'm very confident about and which are solvable in less amount of time. Okay, so because once you reach the end of the paper, your mind gets a signal, okay, that these are the only questions that are possible. You don't have to worry too much about remembering this and that. How many of you agree with me? If you have attempted GATE paper ever, you would definitely agree with me. Once you have reached the end of the paper, you have clarity on what to remember, what not to remember, indirectly. And in the second phase, in the second pass, I actually solved those questions which I have marked for review, or those questions which I partially solved, or those questions which I knew I can solve, but they were some lengthy questions. Okay, so that I solved in the second pass. So this way, in 2 passes, I solved the entire GATE exam, which helped me get All India rank 60. Okay, so everyone has to have their own strategy. If you don't have any strategy, you can apply my strategy. It is very well tried and tested, but you don't have to forcefully attempt my strategy. Okay, you can apply any strategy that you are comfortable with. Okay, so how many of you are with me so far? Any queries so far, guys? Any doubts? Please let me know. Any doubts, anything which is not clear so far? Please let me know before I proceed, because this session is for you guys. Okay, I have already attempted the GATE exam. I have already went to IIT Bombay. I have already done my masters. Okay, I have done everything, but it's for you guys, so you should understand it. That's more important. I already know all this. Okay, so please tell me, guys, anything that you have lack of clarity on. Chalo, okay, awesome. So not managing time effectively during the exam can lead to incomplete sections. Practice time-bound tests to improve speed and accuracy. Okay, so this is another reason why test series are so important. Okay, because if you attempt test series in a exam manner, like if you block the 3-hour slot, if you attempt in a real exam manner, like if you switch off your cell phone, if you don't look at the books and all when you're attempting the paper, you will get that thrill even before the exam. So when you go to the actual exam, it's not a new experience to you. Okay, you will not be scared of what if I don't do this, what if the time is running out. You will have a proper mental calculation. It will happen automatically. If you attempt 15-20 full length tests, that mindset will automatically be built. It happened with me. I had a very good calculation about how much time the first pass should take. Okay, it was less than 50% of the time. Okay, it was less than 1.5 hours in which I had moved till the end of the paper with the first pass. And I also calculated that on an average how much time I should spend on a question. Okay, 65 questions. If you spend 2 minutes, it would be around 2 hours 10 minutes, around like that. Okay, so on an average you have 2 to 3 minutes per question, you can say like that. Okay, so this is how you have to build your mental model. Okay, moving on to the next, ignoring weak areas. Now this is a bit debatable point. Okay, so you might say, sir, that's a good point, sir. If we don't understand something, why to waste so much time studying it? You might debate like this, right? Sir, I would study what I understand. Why would I study something which I don't understand? But here is the catch. So I'm not having this session for someone who is planning to just qualify the GATE exam. Okay, you can ignore this. But if you are someone who is planning to get All India rank under 100, like mine, if you are someone who is planning to go to IIT Bombay or IC Bangalore, if you are someone who actually wants to be a city topper like me, then you have to understand the importance of this. Okay, because if you aim for under 100 rank, you cannot compromise on any topic. This is the real truth. Not even a single topic you can miss, because who knows that if you have studied 90% of the subject but the question came from the 10% of the subject, no one can do anything, no one can say anything, no one can predict anything. Okay, so if you are studying some subject, you have to study it completely. In worst to worst case, you can leave one or two topics if it is completely out of your control, completely out of your understanding. But don't make it a habit to leave concepts. Okay, so many aspirants tend to focus only on their strong subjects, ignoring the weak ones. Identifying and working on weaker areas is essential to achieve a balanced success or balanced score. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, because it might happen that the easy questions come from the topics you have left, like complete formula based question might come, which you could have easily solved. And it might happen that if you have studied a subject a lot, but a very tough question came from that subject which you are not able to solve. Okay, so anything is possible, guys. As a topper, it's my responsibility to give you the reality check. I'm not going to give you false hopes. Okay, let me be very honest with you. GATE exam is not that predictable apart from few things. So the best strategy is to be prepared for every subject, every topic. Then I can guarantee you that you would be a topper, because it will be well balanced. Some topics easy question will come, some topics tough questions will come. Okay, chalo, moving on to the next mistake, which is over reliance on coaching. Okay, now this is again a very debatable point, but you have to understand the word over. Over means extra, too much, unnecessarily. Okay, so while coaching can provide guidance, over reliance on it without self-study can be counterproductive. Personal effort and consistent self-study are indispensable. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that, okay, you are relying on us, the faculties, and that's a good thing. You should have trust on the faculties. Okay, we are trying our best, but ultimately it's you who is going to write the GATE exam. Ultimately it's you who is going to be under pressure in that 3 hours. Okay, so we will do our best. We will teach you every possible concept in the best way possible. Okay, but ultimately, if you don't have the state of mind, if you don't have the presence of mind to actually attempt something unknown, then we will not be there to help you out. Unfortunately, will not be there whom you can ask and get the answer. Okay, so you have to remember this, guys. Can you give a yes or no? I hope you understand this point. And coaching is just a placeholder here. It can be applied to friend, it can be applied to your anyone. Okay, it can be applied to your parents. If you are over relying on someone, like if I don't understand the marks, if I don't understand the question, I will directly ask someone. That someone is not going to be there in the GATE exam. Okay, are we all on the same page? Can I have a quick yes or no? Okay, awesome. Moving ahead, not taking care of health. Now this is a very underestimating point. Okay, because many people think, sir, health is fine, sir. Okay, what to do with health? But as you know, health is not just about physical but mental well-being as well. And if you don't have proper state of mind, you will not be able to write the efficient exam. Okay, so neglecting health due to intense study schedules can affect performance. Ensure you get enough rest, eat well, and exercise regularly to maintain physical and mental well-being. Okay, so basically guys, you have to understand that GATE exam is a overall aptitude test. Okay, it is not a rattabazi exam. You have to have a good aptitude, and aptitude comes from presence of mind. Aptitude requires a well-balanced state of mind, active mind. For that, proper rest and schedule is required. Okay, it's not about being busy, it's about being productive. Okay, sir, there are so many students who say, sir, I studied for 15 hours, sir, I studied for 16 hours, but what they study is not worth it, because they are just somehow forcing themselves to study for 15-16 hours. What if you actually plan well and you study 2 hours, take a half an hour break, study 2 hours, take a half an hour break? You will actually be more productive. Okay, so I'll leave that up to you. It's a personal choice. Next is skipping revision. Now this is something which if you don't do, there's no point even writing the GATE exam. I'm being very honest with you. Okay, so talking from my experience, when I was a student, I had this rule that if I don't study anything at least 2 times, then I should not even study at all. That's my rule, because I know that I'm a human being. I have my limits. I'm not a robot who will remember everything that they have studied. I'm not a chitti robot. You might have seen that movie, right? They study the book entirely and they remember. I'm not that person. Okay, so you have to understand that revision is something which will actually help you in the exam. If you don't revise, you will not remember it mostly. Okay, so regular revision is key to retaining what you have learned. Make sure to periodically review all topics, especially as the exam date approaches. Okay, and for this, your short notes will help you a lot, because the purpose of short notes is to revise in a very short span of time. Okay, so please keep that in mind, that your short notes are going to help you a lot in the actual GATE exam preparation. Okay, moving ahead, ignoring previous year papers. Okay, so this I have already discussed, that solving previous year questions is not an optional thing. It is a mandatory item. It's a mandatory thing that you have to do. Okay, so previous year's papers give insight into the exam pattern and difficulty level. Analyze and practice them thoroughly. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Okay, any questions? Or are we all on the same page? Please let me know. So put up a yes. So put up a clear. Okay. Awesome. Great. Let's proceed. Focusing solely on numerical problems. Okay, so again, very counterintuitive point. So I have told you to practice questions, but I told you to be balanced as well. Okay, so while numerical problems are important, theoretical questions and concepts should not be ignored. A balanced preparation covering both aspects is crucial. Okay, because it's very simple, guys. If your concepts are clear, you can solve numericals. But numericals being solved does not mean concepts are clear. Okay, as simple as that. It's very common sense. Okay, so you have to have both. You have to balance both properly. Last minute preparation. Okay, this is another very common mistake. Starting preparation at the last minute leads to unnecessary stress and incomplete coverage of the syllabus. Begin your preparation well in advance. Okay, so guys, this is not our B.Tech exam. Okay, this is not this is not about that B.Tech days where we'll study for one day before the exam or one night before the exam and we'll crack the exam. So I used to be that student actually. Okay, I used to study for only 1 to 2 days max in my B.Tech days, and still I have scored almost 9 plus CGPA in every semester. Okay, my final CGPA was also 9 plus after 4 years. Okay, in my first semester I secured 9.55 out of 10 CGPA. But those exams were different. Those exams were easy. Those exams were based on memorization to some extent. Okay, but GATE exam is not like that. GATE exam is about concepts, and concepts require time to be built. Okay, they are not done overnight. Okay, so keep that in mind. Not analyzing mock test performance. Okay, so simply taking mock test is not enough. Analyze your performance, identify mistakes, and work on improving them. Okay, so simply attempting mock test for the sake of it is not going to help. Okay, that is something which you need to really understand. It's like being busy versus being productive. You are attempting the mock tests, but it's not helping you unless and until you don't analyze it, unless and until you don't see, okay, I did this wrong, I need to improve on this, I'm clear with this concept, I'm not clear with this concept. Unless and until you don't do that, attempting the mock test will not benefit you. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys. I really tried my best to share as many insights as possible with you. Now I want to know from you guys, what all things you're going to start from today itself. Tell me, what is the number one thing that you plan to do today? And with that, we will wrap up the session. So do let us know in the comments. Okay, do let me know on the chat, what is that few things that you plan to improve today? Because if you don't apply, then there is no point listening to this session. And if you apply, 100% you will benefit. After your GATE exam, you will come to this video and you will write in the comment section that yes sir, this video actually helped me. It actually helped me add at least 10 to 15 marks in my GATE exam. Okay, I'm sure about that. So let me know. Sounds great. Okay, awesome. Sir, I don't know, but my plan never works for me. See, that's not the way you should look at it. Okay, it's fine, it happens with everyone. Even today it happens with me. I plan so many things, but the plan doesn't work out. But what you can do is you can try your best. Okay, you just have to do your best. Okay, so I used to say this: do your best, forget the rest. This is the methodology that I work on. Okay, and I would recommend you the same. So do your best, forget the rest. Remaining things are not in your control. Okay, sir, we want classes for GATE 2028, please. Okay, sure. I am really happy that you are so much well prepared to start. Okay, we'll definitely be bringing the right batches for you. Okay, just allow us some time to plan things properly. We are constantly working for your benefit only, and yeah, it's going to be there very soon. So thank you so much for being so I would say enthusiastic about it. Okay, awesome guys. So I hope that this session was useful. So do let us know in the comment section, like which all topics you have queries in and which all topics you would like to have our guidance on. We will try our best. Okay, so with that, my dear friends, my name is Aditya Jain and I wish you all the very best and a great success in your actual GATE exam. Goodbye, take care, see you in the next sessions.